There are a lot of redstone videos on YouTube, and if you understood that reference, then you are the kind of person who would know that already. Listen, there are some really smart Minecraft redstone YouTubers out there. There are people who've been able to come up with all sorts of things. They've been doing redstone for 8 years or so now. They're pretty smart. People can build computers in this game. It's kind of insane, honestly. I need to let you guys in on a little secret. You may actually know this already if you look at my previous videos, but I would not even touch redstone in terms of actually learning it until maybe 2 years ago. Probably closer to 1.5, but we will go with 2 just for the sake of argument here and to keep the numbers simpler. I actually found redstone less valuable to me when I went mining than lapis lazuli, and you know how worthless that is. Over the past 2 years, though, I have been working to try to get better at it, and obviously my redstone knowledge isn't up to date with someone like Mumbo Jumbo, or Iskal, or Azumavoid, or any people like that, major redstone YouTubers. Automated farms, systems like this, I've been expanding my knowledge, even going over to here, to these slime block doors that I've made. And then the most recent thing was upgrading my bucket filler, which this at the moment is the pinnacle of my redstone prowess. This is the thing for me. Boop. Oh, I could just listen to my bucket filler all day. And then probably be crazy by the end of it, but, you know, I technically could listen to it all day. Okay, let's take that out. I don't mind listening to it, but I don't want to have you all listen to that for the entire video. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Anyway, long story short, what I'm doing this episode on my Minecraft, it's not even really a series, just what I'm doing this episode of Minecraft is I am working on expanding my redstone knowledge. I'm just going to be taking ideas and building things from scratch, trying to figure out how they work, and then seeing what big Minecraft YouTubers, or how people have optimized it more than I've already done. I think I'd say my redstone knowledge by this point is maybe lower intermediate. I'm able to know stuff like this. This is pretty simple. It's pretty commonly known, obviously. And I've been able to figure out a couple things, but I by no means am a redstone expert. There's a lot of bits and bobs here and there that I just don't know how to use. Especially certain contraptions I don't know how to use. And that's where we're going to start with today. I want to figure out how to make a triple piston extender. And that's going to be the first thing we're going to try to figure out. So I have to think about how this works. So we have to power it this here. This piston's going to get pushed out to here. And this piston will activate, pushing this piston out to here. So the activation circuit should just be something like this, which we have. And then obviously that breaks it. So we have to have a way of fixing that. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know how it's done, but I do know enough about this to know that a simple design for this is that you need to have another side over here specifically for the deactivation. So we need to make a falling edge monostable circuit. And I've never actually done one of these before, or maybe not by that specific name, knowing how it operates. So let's just do one of these. And I know enough about these at this point, I would say, to actually kind of understand how they work. I say as I get it wrong. Yeah, there we go, we got it. Okay. So now we need to figure out... Okay, well, we need to also fix this. Let's just turn this off for now so we can fiddle with this and not have to worry about it. Let's see. Let's just run some lines through here. Let's actually get into its activation state. And then take this apart. So the pistons are going to be like this. We have to deactivate this one. So these will all deactivate on their own already. Which means we then need to fire this one again. Because let me explain. When we flick this over off, everything moves back to here. After that, with this delay, this needs to come in, fire this one again to pull this all forward. Then this one needs to fire. And then, what else do we need to do? We need to fire this one, and then these ones again, I think? Good grief, this is complicated. Okay. Okay, so I'm willing to give this a shot now. So that's the activation. If we just try this. Okay, okay. So the problem oh, I forgot to actually set these. It has to fire this one, then this one, then this one. Wait, no. Then this one, I I think. Like so. Alright, that fires. Let's try this now. Aha! Well, we left this behind, but the idea is there. So we can now repeatedly get back to this point. Let's try to slow this down and see what we're doing wrong. Yeah, I see. This, there's not enough time here. We need to slow these down further. Which means we want to do something like that, perhaps? Let's try this. Because there's not enough time for these pistons to actually activate. Aha! Okay, okay, okay. We got it. Now all we have to do is get this one to fire one more time, and we've done it. That's all we have left to do. This last segment then took me almost half an hour to figure out how to get it to work. No, I'm not kidding. Does that work? I don't think it will. But let's try it. Oh my gosh! We got it! Oh my gosh, that actually did it. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that actually worked. It's decently fast, too. Now, it's extremely bulky, I will point out, but that actually worked. Oh my gosh. What I'm curious about, is there any way we can make this neater? Let's see. The timing on these was pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 going into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we do this, this is technically neater. Doesn't look neater, but it is. Uh-oh, that messed it up somehow. These are all feeding into each other, aren't they? This will detect... Ah, there's my problem. That makes a lot more sense. Now let's try this. Now, I'm sure this is not the way you're actually supposed to do it, but I think I have been able to get it to work. Alright, now I will build a triple piston extender next to it that's a common design, and we will see what I could have done better. Alright, so I found this one on Reddit from user, I think it was user melonbp, and I will say this in advance. This is very demoralizing to see that this actually works, and I will tell you it does work. But by that I mean it's tileable, and that is crazy to me. Look at this. Now I will say, mine is faster. Mine is actually significantly faster. But, you know, his is tileable, and it's smaller in general. If you take a look, it's smaller in general, so... Yeah, so yeah, thanks to melonbp on Reddit for coming up with this. As far as I can tell, I think it's his. Link will be in the description, obviously. Yeah, let's move on to some actual submitted ideas. I put a Twitter post out, and we actually got some replies back. So from Big Man Hujo himself, he asks, well, his first suggestion is, I don't know what a triple piston extender is, but create an AFK shulker farm. The only one I've seen is really, really big. I hate to break this to you, Hujo, but I don't know enough about shulker mechanics to actually understand their behavior. I didn't even think shulkers could respawn, so I didn't know this was a thing, so I'm not going to be able to figure this one out. But you did send something after that, and that was your backup suggestion, which was to try building a flying machine with a Writable Minecart. You just want to see if I can do it from scratch. Alright, so, from what I remember, this is a very basic flying machine. Just something like that. And then you activate it by doing this. And there we go. Your basic flying machine. I do know how that one operates. Now, what I want to know is, does this work with honey? Because I know honey is a transparent block. So I'm not sure if this one will still work. I don't see why it shouldn't. Because these will just straight up power down into the... What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. I don't see a reason why this shouldn't work, but let's try it. Okay, yeah, and that works. Alright, and that'll actually make things a little easier, because things will stick to honey that may not stick to slime. And by that, I mean, I bounce on this, whereas with honey, I think this will actually drag me along. Do I just stick to honey? Huh. Oh, I forgot to put in the pistons. Oh, well that's why it's not flying. There are no actual pistons in this thing. Alright, let's try that again. I wonder if I'll actually leave that in. I probably need to. That was funny. And yeah, that's what I wanted to be sure of, because honey is technically ever so slightly shorter than the blocks around it, or just because it's honey. There we go. I don't even need a minecart, but because it requested a minecart, I will, in fact, put a minecart on by using honey. So yeah, this is my little race car spaceship looking thing I built, and the minecart is sitting on the honey. What I want to know is, will I stick to this? The problem is I can't activate it from here. Okay, it's not perfect, but I do bounce around on this, but I technically stay on the machine. Alright, so yeah, this one works. Thank you for the suggestion, Hugo. Alright, our next suggestion is from Uncertainship, and he asks, make a contraption that closes a piston door when you move up to it. So like a reverse door, maybe you could use the new skulk sensors. There is one thing I want to try before I write this off as needing it to be done in the new snapshot. If we put a shulker here, I'm aware that shulker boxes, or shulkers themselves, occasionally raise up to peek out. And yeah, that's what I was worried about, is... Let's even... Oh, well, we've messed something up. Oh, okay, when they touch water, they teleport. Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't have worked originally at all. What I was thinking is that if shulkers would only raise up when you're nearby them, then they could theoretically block the water flow since their shells rise upward. But naturally, everything about that idea was flawed, so let's actually boot up... Oh, now I have to just punch this guy a lot. We'll be here a while. Die already! Oh, for goodness sakes. I know I could just use this sword, but I don't want to get one out. It wastes time. I'll let that one sit for a second. Alright, Uncertain Ship, I made the door you asked for. Here's a little bit of it. You got a little bit of a sneak peek there. If I walk in, it walls me off. If I keep moving, then it's going to continuously do that. It only works if I stop moving. Door opens back up, and then I have just enough time to squeeze through. Now, the only way you could fix that is if you made the door about 3 or 5 blocks thick, because then as they're moving through, they're suffocating as they're stuck inside the door, and that can dissuade people from getting through. But unfortunately, due to the way that the skulk sensors work, based off of movement, this system's a little hard to do. Unless you opened up just a pit trap or something that people physically could not get over. I don't see another way of doing this right now, but granted, this is the first time I've really worked with skulk sensors, so I may be missing something. And I just did the iron blocks to make it look better, but it's pretty simple. Skulk sensor beneath the door, with wool occlusion to keep the pistons from activating it. It feeds into this pulse extender, which is why the door was staying closed, even though the skulk sensor wasn't operating at the time. With a repeater feeding up into those pistons. So pretty simple, but effective. If people are silly and just won't stop moving, then they're never getting through here, unless they take their pickaxe and break other people's stuff, which, come on. It's Minecraft. Why would you do that to people? Our last suggestion for the day, because I don't want this video to be too long, I'm really busy as of the time of recording this, is from the man himself, Waifu Killer. He asks for a contraption that builds snowmen and immediately kills them with lava. I love this idea. It's so ridiculous. I absolutely love it. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to check is, obviously, we can make snow golems. That's not a problem. In fact, let's just get this. This will be our way of clearing out our snow golems so they don't make a big mess. We need to make sure that actual pistons can make these things. So if I do this. Okay, that breaks the pumpkin. Why does that break the pumpkin? If we do this... So, the fact that pistons break pumpkins upon contact like that is not a great sign. The fact that carved pumpkins can't be pushed at all means that this system won't be able to be completely automated. But, we can at the very least build a system that's mostly automated. Alright, so we've built the main chamber here for how we're going to kill the snow golems. And here's an example. Let's just put a zombie in there, because he'll be the easiest way of showing you guys how this works. So that is a zombie, right? That is a zombie. if we just spawn him right here. Oh, I have it on peaceful. I'm a dum-dum. Alright, we don't have to put it on hard, but I just did, and now slimes are going to be everywhere. I'll have to worry about that later. If we just spawn a zombie in, he falls on the tripwire hook, instantly gets pushed into the lava, and dies. So, we have that system set up perfectly fine. Now what we do is we have to set up a system for feeding in snow, because I want to make this as automated as I possibly can. Alright, so I've built a tiny little something here that I hope will work how I want it to. Let's grab some carved pumpkins. Now the way this system works is, because you can't build the snow golems automatically, you have to kind of feed the resources. So what I've done here is I've set up a system to where I can basically use these 0 ticks to load a magazine of these snow blocks in here. As you can see, if you're looking behind me, it's loading the snow blocks in. And eventually, we're going to get to right here. And now they're loaded in the machine. Let's just do an obsidian there, so that we can't break this thing, because that'd be bad. But yeah, let's just do that. Because now this machine will no longer push. If I load in more snow blocks, though, I believe that essentially... Yeah, okay, let's try something here, because I think if we feed this too full, it will actually break it. Oh, it's just spitting him out the back. It's destroying my redstone. No! Okay, well that's an issue. Okay. So, fair warning. Don't overload this thing, because this is what happens to you. Alright, well in that case we don't need the obsidian. Let's just pick a block for that. Alright, and now that you've loaded some stuff in, you can drop the carved pumpkin, and they get immediately pushed to their death. You feed some snow in. Now granted, this is actually slower than just manually placing the blocks yourself, but you wanted a machine that did this. So, here you go. I like this way more than I should, honestly. This is actually really fun. You put the snow blocks in, snow golem gets pushed in and dies. So, the way I did this is I used these zero tick blocks here. So what this does is the instant you put a block moves into here, it can power, this block gets powered by this torch, which means this redstone signal comes out, immediately powers the pistons, and pushes the blocks over, and resets it. These things are really useful for tree farms, cobblestone farms, to transport blocks around like that. And that's what I've been doing here, as you can see. Oh, well I messed that up. But, yeah, as you can see, if you're not quick on the draw because of the way I set this up, these blocks kind of have to be placed one after the other. Because the bottom one is what triggers this, but the bottom one's more difficult to place. So what I've done is I added a repeater onto this one to delay when it activates. So it's not truly a zero tick thing. This just allows me to have time to place the second block before it activates. So a long-winded explanation in a really over-necessary machine for killing snow golems, but honestly, I like this. This is so fun. If I didn't have exams this week as of when I'm recording this, I would literally just sit here and kill snow golems. This is actually really therapeutic. I would recommend building one of these at home. Doesn't take a lot of resources. You just need to make a few zero-tick feed tapes here. And yeah, this is about it. A tripwire hook down here to activate the piston. It's not that complicated, in all honesty. There we go. See? Dead and dead. Weapon Killer, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I certainly enjoyed making this. I'm gonna have to call it here. I had one or two more things I was planning on working on, but admittedly that triple piston extender took me over half an hour. I'm not even joking. And it was all because of this final activation right here. The rest of this I put together in about 2 minutes. It was this final thing that took me half an hour to figure out. So I'm a bit ashamed about that, but I figured it out and that makes me happy. Until next time, I've dragged this on long enough. This is Bloober Gamer signing out. God bless America.